Hey guys, welcome to the Money Mindset. Now, today, especially, I have Arun Jain of Intellect Design Arena with me. Today, the topic is a bit different, right?
Yeah.
I want to understand more about the future of enterprise AI because you're building a lot in that space.
You use a word very nicely, enterprise AI. Now, there is a big divide between foundational AI, who is prepared by young people, and from the enterprise perspective, the risk associated with implementing AI is from an enterprise lens. Now, we need to create a bridge between enterprise AI and foundational AI. So, our journey is that in last 10 years, we set up research lab where 200 engineers are working since 2015 to build up this AI.
So, at Intellect Design Arena, you folks are doing a lot in terms of, scaling up in AI, whether it's with Purple Fabric or even with EMAC AI. Just tell us a little bit about the work that has been done so far.
Now, this is what emac.ai is all about. It's simplifying the banking and can reduce the cost because of zero waste architecture by 30%.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it's remarkable the work that you have done. Now, you've taken the company from 100 million to almost $2 billion market cap, Intellect Design Arena. In terms of the next few years, from $2 billion of market cap currently, where do you see Intellect Design Arena go?
This is a new subject, it's for everybody. It's a level playing field. It puts India on the same map as any other countries. If DeepSeek has created a revolution AI from China, Purple Fabric with a business impact AI can do the similar thing.
Can Intellect Design Arena be the Palantir of India?
Should be, but that's what we aspire to be.
Hey guys, I'm happy to be a part of Zerodha's media network. Together, Zerodha and I plan to bring to you simple yet effective and impactful news and views from the best minds in the financial world. Now, today is a special episode for us because we've moved away from the stock markets to talking about sectors of the future. And in that, I have someone who's pretty much at the forefront of the boom that we're seeing, or the wave that we're seeing in AI especially. I have Arun Jain of Intellect Design Arena with me. Mr. Jain, thank you so much for joining us on the Money Mindset.
Thank you, Sonia, for inviting me for this conversation, because this is a topic of the day and my 10-year research.
Your 10-year research, and for the people who don't know, this is a business that you have built over the last many years, now sitting at almost $2 billion market cap. It's a global fintech company, the Intellect Design Arena, and I'm sure at some point in time there will be comparisons that India has created a business as large as this compared to, say, global players like Palantir, etc. So I want to talk more about that in greater detail. But first, you have 40 years of experience now in the industry.
Yeah, that's right.
How has the journey been for you so far?
It's quite interesting that I had a green card when I passed out from engineering college. Didn't decide to go join the hands in 83 with two other friends, Vishnu and Yogesh, and started the company. That time, investor never used to be there. We just bootstrapped the company till 95. We set up Nucleus at that time. And then I moved to Chennai in 1990. And then 93, I set up a Polaris as a second company. So it's like a sequential company moving on. And then 99, we went public in Indian market. Public really respected Polaris software journey, and it helped us out in building a banking financial domain focused software service company. We had an exciting period in 2002 when we did a largest acquisition of India of Citicorp. It's a multinational Indian company acquiring multinational company. Was first time happening in 2002.
Very rare, yeah.
And every analyst was saying, no, Arun Jain is selling it off. It's only a matter of time that he has to sell out the equity. But we could be able to integrate the entire Citigroup entity into us. So very exciting time in a phase one. I'll talk to phase two when it comes to you have a question around phase two.
Of course, of course. So, I mean, it's been a great journey, and your stock has given phenomenal returns to shareholders. So, congratulations to that. The kind of wealth that you've created, both for investors, shareholders, stakeholders, is remarkable. But today the topic is a bit different, right?
Yeah.
I want to understand more about the future of enterprise AI because you're building a lot in that space. So AI is a subject that a lot of people are still trying to grapple with.
That's it.
So from your vantage point, I wanted to understand, where are we at right now as far as AI is concerned, enterprise AI, and what do you see the landscape evolve into?
You use a word very nicely, enterprise AI, because AI has multiple dimensions to it. One AI is called foundational model, which is a foundational AI, which is a core research on doing the language vectorization, which is about the way numerical numbers become where your models get created, which created a predictive AI. When language got vectorized, it generated a generative AI. There are two forms of predictive AI and generative AI. So like Google, what we use or for map is a predictive AI. It's not a generative AI. So generative AI is when I vectorize my word, phrase, sentences into a attributes, and that attributes goes into it. So this is a foundational research, I would say, as a part one of the AI. Now your question is, what is enterprise AI? Now if I look at the AI usage from enterprise perspective, then it becomes enterprise AI. Now there is a big divide between foundational AI, who is prepared by young people, and from the enterprise perspective, the risk associated with implementing AI is from an enterprise lens. There is a river going between the two. Now we need to create a bridge between enterprise AI and foundational AI. So the core researchers versus actual business impact AI. So our journey is that in last 10 years, we set up research lab where 200 engineers are working since 2015 to build up this AI landscape. We failed initially because we also started looking the AI from a lens of technology, not a lens of enterprise. So 2017 I failed, 2019 we failed, because all of us, we got, as a technologist, we get excited with the technology behind particular thing, and we say, oh, business should anyway accept it. But when we go to the business to demonstrate and display and implement it, and they ask 20 questions on governance of AI, responsibility of AI, ethicality of the AI, and then we are not thought through the everything till 2019. Then we have to sit back in our design board, where with the foundational AI models which we created, now we need to integrate to business impact AI.
Okay.
And that was a big journey which happened between 19 to 22, where we revamped the AI and reimagined the AI from customer perspective, from product perspective, from operation perspective, from risk perspective. And then that reimagination resulted into business impact AI in 2022.
Okay.
And then we tried this into US market and UK market before coming to India.
So I want to understand from you, just to go back a little bit, right? There is this common narrative or common complaint rather that India is unable to create any large product company, a large technology company compared to its global peers. Every company that's coming out and sort of growing is in the services space.
That's
Why is that the case?
This was a great question, Sonia. In 2007, when I was visiting Silicon Valley, and one of the questions which came to my mind was that why Silicon Valley companies are defining economies. Each company is equivalent to economy of multiple countries. What is the difference between New York and Silicon Valley? I'm not talking about India and Silicon Valley, but New York and Silicon Valley. And after multiple interviews I did with the people, one of the interview answered that New York is about management. Management is about maximization and optimization of resources. That's how the management is all about. Silicon Valley is about design thinking, which is around customer being the center and understanding customer stated and unstated needs, listening to unstated needs. And these are two different thinking process from maximization and optimization to finding out opportunity of global scale where human comes in the center is a two school of thinking. And these two schools of thinking, we adopted design thinking after that, set up a 30,000 square feet of design center in Chennai before embarking on product journey. Because you need to change the thinking culture of the company. We need to organize the thinking space for writing a product versus taking orders from the customers. If I'm doing a customized work versus I'm doing a innovative work, I need to reimagine my own way based on some hypothesis of the future and build the technology around it. It's a high risk game to predict this is the way technology will be there. So AI in 2015 was a high risk for the company. We didn't have money. We have to borrow the money from banks. I invested my own capital there. And how many entrepreneurs would have a 500 crore, 1000 crore to invest in this kind of a dream. Fortunately, it was my own capital, so I could implement. But otherwise, it's impossible for an investor capital to build where we have a 1200 research engineer in the company, largest research engineer force with more than average cycle for them is 10 years average experience. Now that kind of a team capacity is require scale, and that scale result into the outcome. So it's not that service company doesn't have a scale, but they don't have a culture of a product.
So this is you comparing Silicon Valley to New York. But now what about India? Why is there a dearth of huge product companies in India? Is it because of lack of investment, lack of capital?
I don't think lack of capital. All the service company makes profits in number of thousands of crore per year. I think that money is easy money. Service company money is easy money. I should not undermine them. And this is boosting Indian economy. But to look at it, we need a passionate entrepreneur who are towards building a technologies out of India. And few companies have started now surfacing. It's not that it has, now it's a time when India is doing good job in, like Newgen is coming in or Joho is coming in. So there are at least two large companies have come in who are one in SaaS area, another one is in process automation area. But we need more such companies that are coming up.
So at Intellect Design Arena, you folks are doing a lot in terms of, scaling up in AI, whether it's with Purple Fabric or even with eMAC AI. Just tell us a little bit about the work that has been done so far and what, according to you, is the future of enterprise AI and how is Intellect Design Arena taking, that baton forward?
Let me answer three. You asked three questions. First question is eMAC.ai. eMAC.ai is first when you go to design thinking, then you call out first principle thinking to simplify the landscape of the technology. And then we ask a question in first principle thinking, why bank exists? We ask a foundation question, what is the need of a bank in human life? Because there is some financial event happen in the human life, like deposit event, lending event, investment event, payment event. These are four category of events happen in the life of in various life cycle stage. Bank is only providing services to capture those events. And those services, when you package them, it becomes microservices. Now, microservices, all the services are isolated services unless you connect them into a pipe, which is called API in technology language. They should sit on some building and infrastructure which is on a cloud. And they have to compose the experience for the customer. It has to be headless so that you can create a head on the top of it, which is required. And you have to embed the intelligence into it. So there are 6 principles are there. When we combine the 6 principles, it becomes eMAC.ai. E stands for event, M for microservice, A for API, C for cloud, H for headless, and AI is for intelligence. So we have to build from grassroots the technologies of microservices by identifying the finite number of microservices in the banking system. We started from banking system and then insurance industry. There are 2 industries we focus at. In banking also, we have retail banking, capital market, and wholesale banking. There are 4 verticals from that perspective. As you look at from the money perspective, there are 4 verticals into that. And then we write microservices. So we created 386 microservices, which defines the entire market. Now and then we define the tool set that it should be like a Lego toys to compose a solution. And that is what the technology we built is a turmeric technology.
That to connect all the dots over there.
And build up an application quickly with no coding, almost like zero coding or very low coding is required to connect the dots. So this technology took almost 1200 research engineers over the 10-year period. It's close to 12,000 man years of 20 million hours of the work. In US term, it's a $2 billion investment at $100 per hour each. So it's in Indian terms, it's a $500 million investment. So it's 1:4 ratio. Fortunately, we took advantage of India. Now, this is what eMAC.ai is all about. It's simplifying the banking and can reduce the cost because of zero waste architecture by 30%. So eMAC.ai promise to the banking world is you're running cost of the bank can be reduced by 30%. But it's a big journey to move from a all banded infrastructure like an old building in Mumbai. You can't upgrade. You need to demolish and build a new building. Over here, we're not saying demolish the old building. What we are saying is we coexist with the new building can come on the sideways, and I bring a coexistence. The way we did RBI, we did a modernization for them. We can do Indian banks can also be modernized on it. So this is about eMAG.ai.
Okay, so what is the scope of services like this? In the sense, India, of course, is still very nascent in terms of growth in AI. A lot of traditional banks, fintech companies have not really transitioned. So, from an Intellect Design Arena, revenue potential, what is the kind of scope of growth in as you use some of these products?
So let me just now take the AI as a Purple Fabric and AI. We look at it that in AI world, a lot of knowledge comes in LLMs. When you do talk to ChatGPT, you can get any knowledge at your fingertips.
Correct.
So if anybody has to do a research on a company or a person, you can get everything today at your fingertips.
Yeah.
It is much better than Google was giving. But similarly, there's so much knowledge sitting in enterprise. And that enterprise knowledge is in form of explicit written knowledge, implicit in workflows, tacit in the heads of the people who are working in enterprise. Now, how do you capture this knowledge and create an enterprise knowledge garden? So we coined the word enterprise knowledge garden as a first time in the industry that it should sit next to data lakes. So data lakes where all the data of the enterprise is sitting there, and enterprise knowledge garden EKG is where the knowledge is sitting there. So these are the two basic building blocks. Then I can consume knowledge from EKG and data from data lake to create expertise as a service.
So when you say tacit and implicit knowledge, I didn't understand what that actually is.
Like if I am working in a company, I have so many things. The way I do project management, I do product management, I do customer management, I conduct minutes of meeting. All this way I do the minutes of meeting goes nowhere. It remains in my mailbox. It doesn't come as a relationship manager what he has spoken.
Correct.
It doesn't. It remains with him.
Correct.
If he leaves the company, where the knowledge goes.
Correct.
So all the 5-year knowledge, if relationship manager is talking to the customer, is not available, a new relationship manager comes in, will he start asking the same question to the same customer again? That's what happens today. If you can capture this tacit knowledge, it's tacit knowledge because it's not defined in manuals.
Correct.
How to conduct a meeting is not defined in a manual of any nature. We call competency of the person. Now, if we can capture all those minutes of meeting of last every year, if I conducted per week 50 meetings, it will be in thousands of the meetings. That's a tacit knowledge which is available.
So that's what you capture through Purple Fabric.
Purple Fabric, tacit knowledge also. And implicit knowledge is workflow when some transactions are coming, which transactions are going straight through, which transactions are failing, which type of transactions, which segment are doing more transaction. I'm capturing that knowledge. So then I can design a product better that this particular segment is giving me lower output versus other segment.
And what is the opportunity that you see in the banking and financial sector with this particular product?
This product, Purple Fabric, I spoken, this could be a potential of in next 4 to 5 years, it could have a potential up to 5,000 crore of the new revenue for the Polaris. Oh, sorry. Intellect. Yeah, so it has, but 1,000 crore is definitely there as of now, which is visible to me.
Okay.
And 1,000 crore to 5,000 crore journey is based on our success in UK, Canada, and US will be the defining market for us to take.
Are there a lot of competitors in this space globally?
In business impact AI, which we call with the 4 stacks. First stack is enterprise knowledge garden. Second tech stack is enterprise digital expert, not agents. It's very interesting. Everybody is thinking about agents in AI.
Yeah.
What world wants is the digital experts. Like human experts are there, you need digital experts.
But have we reached that? So you mean generative AI?
It's not generative AI. Generative AI is a means to achieve digital expert.
Okay.
So now, if I look at it, human intelligence comes from three-dimensional metrics. There is expertise metrics, there is a perspective, and there is a behavior. X, Y, Z, three dimensions are there. The behavior traits are like reasoning, judgment, decision, is a behavior traits. Skills are A, B, C, D skills. I can speak well, or I can design well, or I can code well is a skill. Perspective is how I imagine, what is my intent, what is my belief, what is my experiences, and what is my knowledge. Gives me the perspective. Now these three-dimensional metrics, while agent is only talking about a particular skill, but what that skill is like a low-level skill in the enterprise. That doesn't give me the business result. For business result, I need expertise, not a skill. So then I have to add multiple agents to talk to each other, reason out each other, provide a judgment to the decision they want to take, and then make the recommendation with the right intent, with the right purpose, that if it's a compliance manager has to make a decision, his intent will be different than a sales manager making an intent. So all have to be encoded, which creates a digital expert. So that is the first time in the world we are integrating this technology.
So is that technology out already?
Out already. We are implemented in this is in UK for one of the largest wealth managers. We are using this technology for one of the largest Norwegian fund, which has a 1.8 trillion sovereign fund. They are having a 15 million documents in Enterprise Knowledge Garden, and they are using digital expert to understand the ESG. So these are live sites, and we are fortunate that we are launching this after we have proven in Europe with all the constraint of data security, data privacy, ethical AI validated in Europe, then coming to India instead of starting from India to go to Europe.
So you're saying that up until now, what we see with banks, with the chatbots and everything is agentic AI.
Agentic AI.
But you're saying a new level now is unlocked, which is a digital expert.
That's right.
Which is three-dimensional in terms of, decision making, taking all the decisions for you as well.
That's right.
What does that do to the workforce? I mean, we're already seeing huge job losses in the technology space. I'm asking because, on a daily basis, we see young people worried about how AI is going to just take away their job. So what is your advice to that, that group, that cohort that is sort of looking to get a job in this world of AI?
To me, at this point of time, generative AI is high school level. It's still time to make it to the PhD level intelligence. It can augment a manager workforce effectively. It used intelligently. If manager uses AI, that if I need to increase my capacity, I need 2 assistants to me, or 2 people who can do the digital twin to me. It can help me out that. But
it can help one manager. What about that entire team that was earlier hired?
Team also has the capability to use it more effectively. Like in Intellect, our teams use Intellect to deliver accurate software, to predict the errors in the software, to create a test cases in software. So they are helping our engineers. We did not reduce the headcount, but we are delivering a higher quality software.
And more efficiency.
More efficiency there. They can go early in the home. At least they don't have a last night stay for creating a large number of defects in the end. So we are seeing AI from an augmented perspective rather than a replacement perspective at this point of time.
Okay.
Obviously, it can have impact on some lower end jobs to be looked at it, and we need to see the managers who are having a right AI quotient. If there is no AI quotient and they cannot reimagine, there may be some job losses in that area. So it's not that we cannot imagine. If I say AI will not take away the job, it will take away some of the jobs which are of standard routine jobs. So my suggestion to all the people is that it's not difficult to get into AI bandwagon. You have to pull up your socks and say that you have to relearn and reimagine.
Upskill yourself.
Upskill, yes. So it's a complete reimagination.
Okay, so getting back to that topic is very interesting to me. So you're saying now we've moved on from agentic AI and now we've gotten to digital experts, right? What happens in the enterprise arena, like with corporates? Like, suppose you have to advise a corporate on how to sort of stay abreast with the enterprise AI. What is your advice? What are the steps that one should be taking in order to stay relevant and stay future first in the AI space?
My recommendation is it has to start from top. They have to understand what AI disruption is all about. There's an internet disruption happened in 95, 96. And a lot of time, the enterprises took 6 to 7 years to understand the benefit of internet. And some company like Amazon understood the benefit of AI, internet very early, and they displaced many other players who never understood the meaning of internet.
Correct.
So many bookstores wiped out in US who have took 7 years to understand. That is only possible when the boardrooms and management team start joining some boot camps on AI. It's a very big ask I am asking because they believe that they know it all. But this is a new subject it's for everybody. It's a level playing field. It puts India on the same map as any other countries. If DeepSeek has created a revolution in AI from China, Purple Fabric with a business impact AI can do the similar thing because
It's coming from an enterprise perspective of 40 years experience. Not
correct.
This understanding that there is enterprise knowledge garden, there is a digital experts, there is the enterprise governance of AI, and then there is the LLM selection. Because LLM selection is a critical piece because for solving a skill, a LLM one can give a lower cost solution. It based on cost, speed, and accuracy, 3 elements, which is saying triple AI constraint. We need to evaluate each LLM to bring down the cost, and we have seen 80% cost can be saved by selecting the right LLM itself. Whether you choose LLM A, B, C, as of now, as per Hugging Face, there are close to a million LLMs available.
Yeah.
And now these LLMs needs to wire properly to write the application. So it requires huge amount of relearning, not by technology. People are saying AI should be done by technology people. No, because reimagination has to come from business manager. Unless he touches the AI by his own hands, technology people can deliver only what they have been asked to do by the business manager. So I'm saying it has to be boot camp of a 30 people boot camps to go understand it, reimagine your customer experience, reimagine your products, reimagine your operations, and reimagine your risk. You can save almost like a uptick of 20% on customer, and you can have a 20% cost reduction. It's a 20 up and 20 down, 40% benefit to the business.
Wow. Are there any big tech companies? I mean, you can be very candid with me. Any big tech companies in India that are ahead in the AI game? And some that are perhaps falling behind?
In India, I think this kind of investment I have not seen from 10 years long investment in US and UK. I'm seeing my competition coming from Palantir. Is a critical competition because they started AI 10 years, at almost 20 years back. They started the journey in 2005. They started supporting US defense, and they understand what is the criticality of building a governance at the level of starting point. That's the one company. There's a company called C3.ai, again US-based company. There's a H2O. So these companies have 3 companies, I would say, as per Gartner. We see our competition in the India AI space. I think they are early startups, but not like a significant launch of any platform till now.
But when you talk about large tech companies, right? Some of the big guys, whether it's Infosys, whether it's HCL Tech, TCS, do you think they're doing something wrong? They're not like staying ahead in the game? Is there a complete change in the tech landscape right now? And what do you think is the need of the hour for them to stay ahead?
I would not say they are doing wrong. They are different priority. They are on a different highway. So that highway is adopting the technologies which is available in the world and making it suitable for the customer to the service business. So it's a big traction in that space. Maybe if they would have invested the money 7-8 years back, then the maturity of those technology could be right. So some of them have started building those technology stacks, but it takes time. It takes time for something to build ground up.
Correct.
It's not a journey of within 2 years can you build AI platform. I don't think that is the right way, but they are doing a job of, so like we are giving the Purple Fabric technology to SIs. We believe that all the major SI like Wipro or Coforge or L&T, we are talking to them whether they like to look at Purple Fabric as a platform of choice for going and taking to the market for their customer, and it is a win-win for both of us, because we don't want to build our capacities of implementation, and they can create a customer value, and they know the customer better, and they can create much higher value through this manner. So global SIs are our partnership network, and we want to build up a core platform where is our core competency there. So we want to be participating in ecosystem development for Purple Fabric, so that like Oracle has an ecosystem, our aspiration is Purple Fabric should have an ecosystem in next 2 to 3 years, which global partners should be using it.
So, one concept I've heard you talk about a lot is design thinking. And I want to know what exactly is design thinking, and not just in your space, but in general, right? How does one, what is the use case?
Design thinking, if you look at the word itself, it's the way thinking is designed. What we do as a human being, thoughts come to us, which is a thinking. Thinking leads to acquiring new knowledge, and from knowledge it becomes the action. This is how the journey goes. So now a lot of time we try to influence people by skilling them, not changing their thinking process. So we call design the thinking of the, if I do the design the thinking of a student at 9th standard, or a college student, or a employee in the company, thinking is the design. So then his output improves in much higher proportion versus skill being done. So design the thinking is I studied Western thinking process, and I studied Indian ethos, that Darshan Gyan Charitra, which is a focus on darshan. Darshan means the way lens what you use to look at the world. Gyan is the knowledge, and Charitra is your character and the performance. So I connected the both of it, that if I change the darshan first, then my knowledge will change. That's what we applied in Intellect in post 2013, that we changing the thinking process of the engineers, managers, that how they think customer first at a thinking level, which call organizing the thinking space. Then moving to expanding the performance space, which is asking first principle questions. First principle means why something happens. That is the first principle thinking, which I explained you in emac.ai.
Correct.
It opens up so much of a clarity that all the clutter system move away. In India, when I'm working on my foundation and my passion after moving to Gandhi ashram, and in 2016, I found rural India, why it is not growing. What is the fundamental issue of rural India? And then when I go deeper into it, I said that smallest unit in rural India is a village. Village has 3,000 people. The CEO of the village is the sarpanch. What is the leadership capacity he has? If he's the CEO of the village, does he have a leadership capacity to make right decisions? And we are putting so much of emphasis from the central government and state government with 25 initiatives and sectors. Whether he will be able to understand 25 sectors, that was the point we understood through this. So we applied design thinking there, then moved to first principle thinking, then moved to system thinking. And system thinking
What is system thinking?
System thinking is about making a full system, holistic system of your operation or your business, which is a cartographic view. Cartographic view means the way you create map. You create a business map. That banking business has got 13 business line. There are 140 products which bank can offer. So that constitute a whole landscape of cartographic view. Then you say, in this map, I am present here. I am present here.
How does that help?
It helps in visualizing the whole ecosystem. Then when I'm designing certain things, then I say, who are the people who are dependent on me? Who are my interdependencies are there? In absence of a cartographic map, there are two things happen. I don't know where I am. And secondly, what my interdependencies are on somebody else. And that's why my design is only limited to the point which I know what I know. I don't want to discover what I don't know. And that's where the incomplete design happen. And incomplete design is the most expensive recorrection later on. So a lot of time in India, a lot of banks, they don't put a full cartographic view, they go incremental changes.
Okay.
And over the period of time, each time they find new problem, they solve up to the next step. So it's like walking to some destination. Every mile, then you say, no, tell me next map. Next 1 mile, tell me next map.
So the costs keep going up.
Yeah, costs keep going up this way.
So, okay, just to try and understand, right? For someone like me, if I want to implement design thinking in my business and system level thinking and first principle thinking, what are the steps I should take?
You should come to our center call. I'll share the book with you. But first of all, whenever you're looking designer thinking, you need to just understand the principle of how the thinking process works in you. Being aware of your thoughts is the starting point of any design thinking. A lot of time we do in a flow and we don't have a pause to reflect on the thoughts, what is going on. So my actions today is the outcome of my thinking. Thinking space is something like I call it, there are 6 rooms in a mind space. The way we have a 6 room in a house, or there are 6 rooms in a mind space. This is imagination room, it's a learning room, it's a result room, it's a effective room, it's an influencing room, it's a giving room. Our mind thoughts goes around these 6 spaces. How to organize this thinking space is the first agenda we all have. Once you design all the 6 spaces, is a design thinking. That simple as that.
Okay, that's interesting. So be aware of your thoughts and don't respond immediately to every thought. First, right. Try and process the thoughts. So in the industry terms, right? Do you think a lot of organizations find it very hard to implement all this? Of course, they have products, services like the ones that you guys offer. But in general, I'm just trying to understand what is the use case for these kind of products.
To me, in Intellect, when we apply design thinking, our cost of development of new product has come down by 40%. But took it 3 years to organize the thinking of everybody who understand that. It's required a patience at the top level that it's a culture change, but it's a permanent culture change. When it's happened, everybody says, oh, I can do this, I can connect this, I can make the new product at a much lower cost. So this is a big culture shift which happened in Apple. The way Apple thinks is a design thinking way. The way Google thinks, it's a design thinking way. And that's how it creates so much innovations in them, and it's a continuous factory of innovation which happens regularly, whether AirPods are there or any product which you see from Apple Lab is a world class by itself. It becomes a $30 billion business just by AirPod.
So why is it that India cannot produce so many companies that have design thinking?
They have to make some commitment. Some board has to make some commitment, management team has to make some commitment. And we are having a school of design thinking. We are helping some of the corporates to come to our center to get training on design thinking. But then it has to be committed by the CEOs. And if the longevity of CEO is there, it can be implemented much better than the other companies.
Okay, you are doing a lot of work in the rural space as well through your foundation. Tell us a little bit about that. I want to know. I mean, you just gave us a brief overview, but it's a huge project, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You can't even get like regular corporates, billion-dollar businesses to do design thinking, and now you're taking that to, the rural space. So I'm sure it's a huge challenge.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. But in 2016, when I visited Yavatmal, which is the highest suicide rate city, and I said, let me understand what the rural India is. And I said, I don't know what rural India is. I found I'm completely incompetent for rural India problem solving. Then I invited almost 50 design thinking workshops with various NGOs. I invited 200 NGOs in various sectors, in agriculture sector, in non-agriculture sector, in education sector, in healthcare sector, and I learned from them.
Then you put the complexity is
huge. Because rural development is not sectoral development. Even if you expand education, right, but if you don't have jobs after that, then what will do the education? It will create a frustration there. It has to be holistic development. And for holistic development, when we identified, we found close to 34 elements to be developed. Something around personal leadership, personal capacity building, how to change the thinking process of villagers that they can do it.
Don't make them a subordinate to you. They are as competent human being as anybody else. Their mind space is same as mind space. Second is social development. Social development is about education, healthcare. So each one of them you expand the. Then we have a economic development, agriculture, non-agriculture, SHG, farmer producer organization, financial needs in economic development. Then you have a ecological development, soil, water, forest, and then you have institutional development, how the panchayat takes a decision, how sarpanch makes a decision, how does he plan, how much budget does he have, how can he generate own resources of the funds in a village. Now these are the 34 elements we've broken down to 144 indicators and then combine them after 3 years of research into a framework called cluster development framework. Means I pick up a 15,000 population as a one cluster. It could be 3 villages, it could be 2 villages depending upon the village size. And then implement all the 34 elements month by month. First, I take them from, let's say, Jammu Kashmir to Kerala. If you bring the sarpanches, they see the new world. Uttar Pradesh to Maharashtra, they see the new world. As soon as they see the new world, they see the new possibilities and change start happening there. But if you don't prepare the soil and give them a subsidy or funding, the soil is not ready.
Correct.
The seed will never germinate.
Correct. Wow, okay. So what is your aim with the foundation over the next, say, 2 to 3 years?
Idea is that today we are working in 10 different states. Each state has a different kind of perspective. We are collecting all the knowledge. Idea is that if this model can be proven, we work with the government and say, this is a way of rural development. Today we are in a phase we learned first phase, then second phase we are applied in Odisha, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, UP, Madhya Pradesh. Now in each of the place giving me new learnings. And when we are capturing all the new learnings based on design thinking and first principle thinking, it's giving me a set of repository, what works, what doesn't work. I have a AgTech center where I'm growing we produce 10 lakh rupees per acre for the farmer. Government is talking about 1 lakh rupees per acre. I'm saying, can we take a challenge of developing 10 lakh rupees model? We are failing a lot of time because a lot of story which you hear from good stories. When you apply in forest, in agriculture field, it has its own problem statement. It doesn't happen that way. Agriculture is more difficult than many other businesses which we see. So when we can prove something, we can bring farmers there and show them you can generate 2 lakh rupees, you can generate 4 lakh rupees from the income, and then you build up a startup ecosystem in rural India. There we call skill development program in rural India. We don't call it startup. I believe that farmer is the biggest entrepreneur in the world. His entrepreneurship journey starts with the farmer. Now we are not calling startups there. Startups are reserved for urban and skills are reserved for rural. Are we producing a skilled worker to become drivers and number 2 citizen in urban cities? I think something wrong happening here. We need to challenge that and let's see how it comes out in next 5 years.
Wow. My biggest takeaway, I think, from this interaction is how you think very differently from a lot of conventional wisdom, right? And that's something I really enjoy because I feel like you said, right, whether it is system thinking, whether it's first principle thinking. And first principle thinking is actually a concept I learned from Mr. Nandan Nilekani. I had a conversation with him once where he introduced this concept to me of first principle thinking, and not too many people are even aware about it. I'm so glad that I had this chat with you because, I got to learn a little bit more about that. But how did you stumble upon this? I mean, is it something that you have been practicing for years, or is it in terms of, design thinking or first principle thinking?
I think when I first learned design thinking myself, but when I start taking classes, the fact is I have a design center where I take the visitors to the journey of design thinking. It's a 1 hour trip, like a 30,000 square feet of space. It's like a museum space of design thinking. Each time I take any customer there or any visitor there, it throws away new thinking to me. Each time I take a design thinking workshop, I take a design thinking workshop for 2 days and 3 days for sarpanches of the village. 300 people come to my office, sarpanches from the rural India first time, and I take 2-3 day workshop with them. each time they ask a question which is innocent questions, it gives me such a delight. And there the first principle evolve, because question has to be innocent. The
Correct.
smart questions of corporate world are so routine.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
The-
I've been asking you those questions for more than 10 years.
That's right. But its margin, the profit, the numbers, those are not the number. Number is about thinking of the organization,
Correct.
which makes the organization different
Correct.
in the next 10 years.
No, absolutely. And I mean, it's remarkable the work that you have done. Now, you've taken the company from 100 million to almost $2 billion market cap, Intellect Design Arena. So it's no mean feat, and congratulations to you on that. So, I mean, this is what real entrepreneurship is about, right? Thinking differently, acting differently, and not and charting your own path. In terms of the next few years, from $2 billion of market cap currently, where do you see Intellect Design Arena go? And what do you think could be the triggers, both positive and as well as the challenges?
So there are two things which is giving us a very good tailwinds. First is, we have now completed the major portion of our research, which we targeted in 10 years. We have a codeless platform for no-code platforms. We have an AI platform of our own, and we have microservices which can be applied for. So our cycle time of same product to be implementing has come down to 50% than my competition is. So I have a edge of differentiated product in the market. Obviously, when I implement faster, my costs are lower. My margin will grow up. So incremental revenue will come with a much higher margin. Let's say if my margin trajectory is 25% EBITDA margin, then new business will come at a 50% margin. So then average margin keep on moving up in next 5 years. You have seen the Oracle Financial as a company, which margins have shot up to 45%. It's a matter of time. If I grow 20%, my margin will grow 40%. So that's the beauty of the model. Then AI is a completely new horizon. How much it can give me, the revenue and the growth, is anybody guess. I'm saying we are hitting upon something first time in India, which is of world nature, and all the markets are open. We are willing to open franchises in a country or give licensing to some player in Japan or Korea who can go to market with them. We can't go to them. So that market would be very, very interesting market, whether it takes
Can Intellect Design Arena be the Palantir of India?
Should be, but that's what we aspire to be. Let's see how we are able to execute it well, and how the teams come together. And that's keeps my anxiety on right now.
After 40 years of working and achieving something, you can't be having anxiety at this point.
My anxiety is that opportunity size is too big. If you getting 1,000 crore business is okay, and that itself will be good for the investor, because that itself will take the market cap to double or triple. But if opportunity is of a very different order, and if I don't do justice to it like any US company does, then definitely that is an anxiety, that what I can do or what I don't know what I don't know is the cause of the anxiety.
A missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Not being in your optimal potential, not servicing your optimal potential.
That's right. Not just the growth number.
Correct. So, I mean, just whenever I end the show, I always like to ask people what they love to read, any book recommendations. For you, I'll make it very specific, if you can.
Yeah.
Anything on, because this is a subject that's really getting me very excited, whether it's design thinking, whether it's first principle thinking. Any books on that you can recommend, and anything in general also that you like?
I read a lot of books basically on a subject where the spiritual topics are there, or by Eckhart Tolle, but on design thinking, Michael Leverick is a good book on business design thinking for growth by Michael Leverick. He writes very, very smoothly. IDEO is anyway part of the design thinking program. And other books which I love is Systemic Thinking by Peter Senge, which is an old book, not a new book. And going forward to the books in the area of healthcare, why we die, Venki Rama. I'm just reading the book
Okay.
from Venki. So now this is very different subjects. I pick up a book even from spirituality to medicine, like the biography of Dodna, who has discovered editing of the genes. It was a lovely book.
Since you mentioned spirituality twice, I want to
Yeah.
ask you, because even I am on a spiritual journey in a very small way.
Yeah.
Eckhart Tolle, of course, I've read. And what is the basic, path that you take in terms of spirituality? Who do you follow? What do you read? How did you embark on it?
Yeah. Since I'm a Jain, so I listen to Jain principles of understanding that where darshan is so important. I call aparigraha, non-attachment. It's not detachment. So people say when you're becoming spiritual, you become detached. It's not detached. The Jain religion say it's a non-attachment.
What's the difference?
Non-attachment means that I'm doing my job, but I'm not attached to the results of that, which is the Gita says also.
Correct.
So I'm not attached to my own benefit out of that. But I love that job. If I'm running Intellect, it's not that I want to make more money out of it or something. But if the job is so exciting for me, I'm not attached to it. Tomorrow it fails, it's okay. If Polaris went out, it's okay. So it's not hurting my emotion, it's a non-attachment. So,
and what is detachment then?
Detachment is you leave the job and say, I'm retiring.
Okay. Okay.
Is the detachment. I don't care about you, is the detachment. You still love your daughter and son, but it's whether you are too much attached to it or you are non-attached to it. Both are possible. It's an emotional level switch, which is difference between them. And then meditation is a core way to understand your thoughts, why you are thinking what you are thinking and what makes you think in particular. That's a journey I'm going through. I have a group of science of unknowns, questions which doesn't come in. We have a 30 people group. We ask questions who are technocrats, who are spiritual gurus, and we question on why something works, why something doesn't work. And if you don't know and science has not discovered it, let's accept it that some other force is there in the world who have created it.
Wow. We need to do a discussion on that another day.
Yeah.
But it was very inspiring to speak to you. And hopefully, I do want to do a part 2 version of this to understand a little more about Intellect Design Arena. So hopefully at some point, I would invite you for that. But Mr. Jain, thank you so much for joining us on the Money Mindset. Thank you.
Thank you.